Welcome, Curious Minds, and thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We're really glad you're here today. Today, we're jumping into a really pivotal chapter, Genesis chapter 9. We're using the 21st century King James Version. Just picture it. The Great Flood has just ended, everything's wiped clean, and this chapter, it's not just, what happened next. It's setting up a whole new era. We're talking big shifts in the human-divine relationship, new rules, and even some pretty intense family drama. It all happens right here.
Exactly. And our mission really is to walk through the key verses here. We want to unpack the main ideas, help you quickly grasp why this chapter is so foundational, how it sets things up for what comes later.
Okay, let's dive right in. First thing, verse 1. God blesses Noah and his sons. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Now that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Like a repeat command.
It absolutely is. And that's significant. It shows, kind of divine persistence. Despite the cataclysm, the basic plan for humanity to fill the earth, it remains. It's a reaffirmation, a signal of a fresh start.
A fresh start, but with some changes. Verse 2 talks about a new relationship with animals. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast. They're delivered into your hand. That sounds like a major shift in the dynamic.
It is. It suggests a move away from maybe a more harmonious pre-flood existence. Now, there's this element of, fear. It establishes a clearer hierarchy, maybe a more practical one, for a world that's been fundamentally altered, dominion, but with this new edge to it.
And that leads right into diet, doesn't it? Verse 3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. So meat is officially on the menu now.
Yes, explicitly. Before this, the understanding is generally vegetarian. Now it's broadened. It's a practical provision, you could say, for survival in this post-flood world. You still have the green herbs, but now also animal life for food.
But there's an immediate condition, a really important one in verse 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. What's the deeper meaning there? It's not just about food prep, right?
Not at all. This is crucial. The text directly links blood with life. So forbidding the eating of blood, it instills this profound respect for life itself. Even when taking an animal for food, its life essence, the blood, is treated as sacred. It draws a line.
And that sanctity of life gets amplified massively when it comes to humans. Verses 5 and 6 are incredibly direct. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man.
Wow, that's establishing capital punishment right off the bat.
Indeed. And the justification given is key. For in the image of God made he man. That phrase, imago Dei, it elevates human life immensely. To kill a human isn't just ending a life. It's seen as an attack on the reflection of the divine in that person. It makes murder an offense with direct divine consequences.
It puts human life on a completely different plane.
Exactly. It underscores its unique value right from this new beginning. And then, almost like bookends for this section, verse 7 repeats that initial command. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein, reinforcing that call to life. Okay, so we've got these new ground rules for life. Then God does something else, something monumental. He establishes a covenant. This is where it gets really interesting.
It really is. And notice the scope here, verses 9 and 10. God says he establishes his covenant not just with Noah and his descendants, but with every living creature that is with you. Birds, cattle, every beast. It's universal.
All life on earth included. That's huge.
It's incredibly broad. It's not just a human-centric promise.
And the core promise in verse 11 must have been such a relief. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. A guarantee, basically. No more world-ending floods.
A profound guarantee. And, to make it tangible, verses 12 and 13 introduce the token, the sign of this covenant, the rainbow.
Yeah.
I do set my rainbow in the cloud.
Your rainbow. Everyone knows the rainbow.
Right. But what's fascinating, if you look at verses 14 to 16, is that it's presented not just as a reminder for humans, but also for God. When I bring a cloud, the rainbow shall be seen, and I will remember my covenant. It's like a divine reminder embedded in nature.
So God looks at the rainbow and remembers the promise not to destroy all flesh by flood again.
That's what the text indicates. It ensures the covenant holds, remembered by both parties, you could say, but especially anchored by this divine self-reminder.
And it's stressed again and again, verses 16 and 17, that this is an everlasting covenant. It's permanent.
Absolutely. Its permanence is key. It provides this fundamental security for all life against that specific type of catastrophe. A really powerful symbol of divine faithfulness.
Okay, before we get into the family stuff that happens next, just want to pause for a second. We love doing these deep dives with you, and we're curious. We've covered quite a few things now across different sessions. What's maybe your favorite verse or something that really surprised you from any of our deep dives? Let us know down in the comments. And hey, while you're thinking about it, if you find these explorations valuable, hitting that like button for the Peace Project for All channel, it really does help us out. Lets us know we're on the right track and helps others find this content. Thanks for that. All right, so the world's reset, there's this huge covenant in place. How does humanity actually start living again? Well, verses 18 and 19 reintroduce Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And there's that little note tucked in. Ham is the father of Canaan. Seems important later.
It does become very important. And verse 19 is also key. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and from them was the whole earth overspread. This directly connects them back to that command to multiply. It sets them up as the ancestors of, well, everyone, according to this narrative. It bridges the family story to the peopling of the world.
So Noah settles down. Verse 20 says he became a husbandman, a farmer, and planted a vineyard. Sounds peaceful enough. Starting over.
Seems that way. Then comes the incident in verse 21. Noah drinks the wine from his vineyard, gets drunk, and is uncovered within his tent. Vulnerable, exposed.
And then Ham walks in. Verse 22. Ham saw the nakedness of his father and told his 2 brethren outside. What exactly is the issue here? Just seeing him, or the telling, what made this so wrong in that context?
It seems to be a combination, but especially the disrespect inherent in the act. In that cultural setting, a father's dignity, especially a patriarch like Noah, was paramount. Seeing his vulnerability and then crucially reporting it, seemingly spreading the shame rather than covering it, was a serious breach of honor and filial piety. It's contrasted sharply with what his brothers do.
Right, verse 23. Shem and Japheth, they handle it completely differently. They take a garment, walk backwards so they don't see him, and cover him up. Total respect.
Exactly. Their actions embody that cultural value of honoring parents, protecting their dignity even in a moment of weakness. They actively avert their eyes and rectify the situation discreetly. It highlights their respect versus Ham's perceived disrespect.
So Noah wakes up, verse 24, and somehow knew what his younger son had done unto him. He knows it was Ham.
And his reaction is immediate and quite stark. But notice, the curse in verse 25 isn't directly on Ham. It's on Ham's son. Cursed to be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren.
Why Canaan, though, not Ham himself?
That's a question debated for centuries. The text just states it this way. Now, it's really important for us to be clear here. This passage, the curse on Canaan, has unfortunately been used through history to justify some terrible things. Our purpose here isn't to endorse any of those interpretations. We're simply looking at what the text says, presenting the narrative as written in the source material, for you to consider its implications within its own context.
Got it. Just reporting the text. And after the curse, Noah then blesses Shem and Japheth in verses 26 and 27. Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant, and God shall enlarge Japheth, and Canaan shall be his servant. It sets up a future hierarchy among their descendants.
Yes, the blessings and the curse, as presented here, outline specific destinies and relationships for the lineages stemming from these 3 sons. Again, we're just conveying the ideas as they appear in the original text itself.
Okay. And the chapter then wraps up Noah's story fairly quickly. Verse 28 says he lived another 350 years after the flood.
And verse 29 gives his total age. 950 years and he died. The end of a very long life for this central figure who bridged the pre-flood and post-flood worlds.
So pulling it all together, What have we seen in just this one chapter? Genesis 9, it basically sets up the whole operating system for the new world. We get new rules about food, about the absolute value of human life because we're made in God's image, backed by serious consequences for violence.
Right. And then that incredible overarching promise, the covenant sealed by the rainbow. No more global floods. Guaranteed. That's huge.
Huge. But then, almost immediately, we see human nature hasn't fundamentally changed. There's this family incident, the disrespect shown by Ham, the very different reactions, and then this really difficult curse placed on Canaan, which, as the text presents it, sets up future conflicts and hierarchies.
Exactly. It's like a miniature version of so much history that follows, isn't it? You have these divine resets and promises, but human actions, choices, family dynamics, they still have these profound, lasting consequences. It really underscores how these ancient narratives frame understandings of justice, lineage, destiny, even today. Definitely gives you something to think about.
It really does. Well, thank you again for diving deep with us today. We genuinely appreciate your time and your curiosity in exploring these complex texts. And one last time, if you found this valuable, please give us a like, share this deep dive with friends or anyone you think might be interested, and subscribe to the Peace Project for All channel. Your support truly helps us keep these conversations going. We'll see you next time.